Bienvenidos clase de Español 1. Soy Señor Woodrow. Here with your lesson for today, I'm Señor Woodrow. And today we're going to be talking about las diferencias entre ser y estar. And what we can see here already is that autocorrect has got the best of me early on, which will happen. Okay, that's our goal. We want to be able to review how to conjugate both of these verbs, ser and estar, and then how to know the difference between when each should be used. While yes, they both mean to be, all right, they're not interchangeable in their use. For example, if you would like to say I am tall, you would use ser. However, you want to say something like I am in class, that would be estar, even though both of them were saying I am. Okay? So let's start with some background information first. All right, you're going to need to know how to conjugate both ser and estar in all its forms. So we'll start with ser, one of the first verbs you learned early on this year. And that would be, in the yo form, that would be yo soy. Tú would be tú eres. Clase, no se olviden el acento. Aquí es importante. And in the third person singular form, we have él or ella or usted es. Nosotros form would be somos. Vosotros would be sois, and the ellos, ellas, ustedes form would be son. Okay, now remember with all of your subject pronouns, you won't always see one of these 6 subject pronouns. You could see something like a name of Maria instead of seeing ella. So you would still use es, however, you would not necessarily see él or ella there. Same thing with nosotros. Remember, you could see something like mi madre y yo. That still means nosotros. That still means we. So you would put down somos for that example. Okay? Before we get to the new stuff, we need to add in your conjugations of estar. Okay, we'll change the color up for estar. And remember, estar means to be as well. And in the yo form, it's slightly different. Yo estoy. In the tú form, tú estás. And el, ella, usted form would be está. Los acentos clase no se olviden aquí en el forma de tú y el, ella, usted. Continuamos con la forma de nosotros. Would be estamos. Vosotros estáis. That is an S there. Let me fix that up. There you go. And then the ellos, ellas, ustedes form is están. También tenemos los acentos aquí y aquí. All right, so you need to know that before we move on to the new lesson here. So those conjugations should be first nature for you, automatic, but if not, that's something you're going to need to review, maybe make some flashcards and practice that. So here's the new stuff we've been waiting for. Las diferencias entre ser y estar. Okay, they will be used differently depending upon what the sentence is focused on. Okay? So what is the subject? What is the overall topic of the sentence? When we say he is, what is he? Is he a doctor? Is he funny? Is he sick? Is he sad? These are the sorts of things we're going to have to take a look at in order to best choose ser or estar. And a great thing about this is there's an awesome acronym we have for each of them. And I'll start with ser. So we will use ser with the acronym doctor. Okay? So that means that we'll spell out doctor here, and each letter is going to represent something. So D is going to represent description. So if we're talking about a permanent or non-changing description, for example, yo soy alto. Using alto or baja, those non-changing things. Now, yes, you grow as you get older, but for your age, are you tall or are you short? You can't really change that. That would be a description. We'd use ser for that. If we wanted to say yo, it would be yo soy, tú eres, so on and so forth. The next thing we would use ser for is an occupation. Okay, for me, that would be maestro. If you are a teacher, if you are a policeman, you would use ser. Maybe they are teachers, you'd use ellos son maestros. C stands for characteristic. So, for example, these are characteristics that are more permanent, more things that define who you are. All right, so if we're talking about someone being nice, they're probably typically nice all the time. If they're in a bad mood, they're in a bad mood. That's something more temporary. But a nice person has that characteristic with them forever. Okay? So we could say amable would be a key word for that. T stands for time. Are we talking about the time? You've been taught the lesson time multiple occasions, and you start with es la or son las. And when you use those, that's telling us it's your time. Remember, es la is used with una, and las, son las is used with everything else. O is your origin. Where are you from? Where were you born? Where did you grow up? Okay, so for example, many of you and myself would say, yo soy de Middletown. All right. And last but not least, the R in doctor stands for relationship or possession. So if you would want to say something like, he is my father, or it is my pencil, you would use ser as well. So all of these items we use ser for. So when would we use estar becomes the next question. That's a great question. And we'll continue with that right now. So estar has its own acronym as well. And that acronym would be place. And each letter stands for something again, a reason why we should use that verb. So the P stands for position. Maybe someone is sitting down. Then you would use estar. You would say something like El niño está sentado. For the L, it could talk about location. So if you want to say someone is in the classroom, you could say ella está en la clase. Or en la sala de clase. El salón de clase would work as well. You'll have to forgive me, this is my first time doing a lesson like this. So that's an example for location. Oh, I just realized what I did. There we go. No need for that now. A is going to stand for action. We're not really going to see any examples like that right now. You'll get more into that in Spanish 2 next year. But we'll write it in there just so you're filled. The C stands for condition. And when we say condition, that means someone who's maybe sick or is feeling well. That's their condition. It's something that's more temporary, something that will go away with time. So we could say, la mujer está enferma. Okay, so she's sick. She'll be getting better. She'll feel better eventually. It's something that's a temporary condition. Now, a lot of times the question will arise, what about a chronic illness? Something that will eventually take over someone's life. Well, in that situation, we could use ser as well. And lastly, the E in place stands for emotion. We know our high school students have a lot of emotions, so you may use this one a lot. So let's say you could say she is sad as your example here. Ella está triste. And that would be an example of what you use for the emotion side of things. So once you finish these notes, you have it all down and you synthesize it a bit, I will type up a few examples down here for you to practice. And you can go through and pause it and then do those. Alright, so maybe you want to say they are nice. For number 1, they are nice. For number 2, we are from Cuba. And then for number 3, you could say you, and we'll do formal singular are in school. And then finally, number 4, let's hear how happy you are by you writing in Spanish, I am very, one more Y, happy. And you could be happy because this lesson is just about over. You could be happy because you just learned one of the hardest topics in Spanish 1. You could be happy because the sun is coming out today. That does not affect anything between using ser or estar. So a few things when you're doing these. Remember, your hint is you will use ser twice and you use estar twice. And then you will also check your adjectives. All right, remember your adjectives may change in Spanish because they agree in number and gender with the person they are describing. All right, so give these 4 a try. Check with your neighbor to see how it goes, and then we can continue on with the worksheet and some more practice. All right, I hope you enjoyed this. Feel free to rewind and rewatch as much as you need to. Have a great day.